One of the longest-serving South African Communist Party General Secretaries, Dr. Blade Nzimande, is handing over the reins of the party at the upcoming National Congress. Nzimande took over the leadership of the Communist Party from Charles Nqakula as General Secretary in the 1998 conference. During his tenure, the party went on to contest state power in the Metsimahulu municipality in the Free State. A younger generation wants to take over the leadership through the former MK combatant of the Young Lions generation and First Deputy General Secretary Solema Paila. Nzimande says it's time for him to step down as General Secretary, but he is not leaving the SACP, as some provinces want him to be the new national chairperson, replacing Senzeni Zokwana.
I'm definitely stepping down as General Secretary of the SACP. This month, I can't remember the exact date. I was elected General Secretary 24 years ago. That's a very long time. In fact, I think now, other than Moses Kotane, who is the longest serving General Secretary of the SACP, other than him, I'm now the longest serving General Secretary of the SACP. I thought perhaps it's time for a new General Secretary to take over.
The party has been criticized over the years as being dependent on the ANC in order for Nzimande and other top brass leaders of the party to get deployed in government. However, Nzimande says the party has grown tremendously since he took over the reins and achieved huge milestones in influencing ANC-led administrations.
Firstly, the party has grown tremendously, hugely. I don't think we were more than 10,000 members when I became General Secretary. We are now at over 330,000 members within a 24-year period. There's a huge and significant growth for a communist party, especially because I became General Secretary some 7 years after the collapse, the implosion of the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc socialist countries. And many communist parties were in difficulties. Many of them declined, some of them disappeared. But the SACP actually managed to grow. That's the first thing. I think that I'm proud I'm stepping down, leaving an SACP that has got a significant membership.
Nzimande also recounted how the late General Secretary of the Communists, the firebrand Chris Hani, stopped him from taking up a position as a professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal's Durban-Westville campus.
Comrade Chris said, fine, go and apply for it, It would be good, you'll also be spreading the SACP word in academia and so on. The day I went to him so excited with an offer, he said, no, I have changed my mind. I don't think you should actually go into academia. The SACP will lose you. That's what he said to me. I got disappointed, but then he said, no, you stay in the SACP. Then it became inevitable that when then we were going to Parliament, the ANC, originally, of course, in the Midlands, nominated me to actually be a member of Parliament.
In the run-up to the Watershed ANC Polokwane Conference, Nzimande was alongside then ally and former Deputy President Jacob Zuma in unceremoniously ushering out former President Thabo Mbeki as ANC President. Zuma would take over as ANC and State President in a coalition with those whom had been dealt a blow by then President Thabo Mbeki in the ANC. That relationship was short-lived due to allegations of state capture, corruption and money laundering. With some of those allegations, Nzimande was at the forefront of defending Zuma when he was charged at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. In 2017, Nzimande was fired as Minister of Higher Education and Training by Zuma, and this proved to be the straw that broke the camel's back in the two's relationship.
We want to say this as the South African Communist Party, including speaking for myself. Personally, we feel a betrayal in terms of the understanding we had in Polokwane. That has been betrayed. Our trust has been broken.
Now the SACP was openly fighting with ANC leadership under Zuma, while Nzimande accused the liberation movement of abusing its relationship with the SACP. In Mpumalanga province and eThekwini region in KZN, the two alliance partners were at war. Physical blows were exchanged in Mpumalanga townships and rural areas as the ANC and SACP couldn't stand one another.
Indeed, there have been abuses here. And we must say at this Congress, these abuses of the SACP must come to an end. The time for that is over. The alliance mode of operation since 1994 has exhausted itself. If we are to revitalize the alliance, we have to relook completely at the way in which we work.
Nzimande has called on the incoming SACP General Secretary to protect the unity and coherence of the communists against anyone trying to divide the party.
Is to respect and engage the collective leadership at all times. There are moments when you are a leader when you have got to make certain decisions or take bold steps to convince your own colleagues about the correctness of what you believe in. But it's always important that your default position is to actually listen to the collective wisdom of the leadership. That's one. Number two, it's always important to be modest as a leader, you know? And not allow people who come opportunistically to surround you and tell you how important you are. Without you, there will be no SACP, you know, and so on. I don't know how to put it in English. You know, your colleagues who speak Zulu can be able to interpret this, you know.
The short man from Kwatambuza on the outskirts of Pietermaritzburg relinquishes his position as General Secretary of the SACP with a party that is faced with strong divisions, inroads by those whom want him out, with 6 provinces not supporting Nzimande to come back as General Secretary. 3 provinces are in his corner: Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, and parts of Gauteng through Jacob Mamabulu. Relations are seemingly tense, with some saying Nzimande must not even come back as national chairperson, a position he held in 1998, acting. Samkele Masego, SABC News, Johannesburg.